Hey everyone, it's Chefofthedead. I'm sure you've read the title, you know why we're here, and that's to talk about the brand new character. Akos is an absolute monster, and his kit is just a ton of fun, with a whole lot of potential. I'll go over his skills and ultimates, of course, and hopefully you'll get some insight as to if you want to main him. I know I certainly will be for a good while. I'd say he's a sort of semi-transformer, a bit like Tarka. He doesn't fully transform, but he does adopt some new moves and some passive abilities. As for his skills though, we have Roar and Roar Blast. Neither of them can be used while under attack, so they're definitely more aggressive than defensive. Roar is like a ground slam. It's a gold focus attack and does a bit of knockback and some damage, as well as granting you 30% damage reduction for the next 8 seconds. You can sort of use this as a soft reset tool if your opponent catches you in a 1-2 combo, knocking them back and resuming the fight with your damage reduction advantage. There are also ways to extend combos with Roar, so I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of ways to use it creatively, but if you're looking for a more combo-centric ability, his second skill will not disappoint. A quick but very important note about the first skill before moving on: the 30% damage reduction is something you get on activation no matter what, but it can become a lot stronger in team modes, or even group fights in solos. This is because every enemy you hit with Roar will give you an additional 10% damage reduction. It's a great way to make yourself instantly more tanky, and will likely cause opponents to target the other person in a third-party situation. With Roar Blast, a single tap will trigger a fast shockwave attack with blue focus that can act as a combo starter, but if you hold it, you very quickly charge to a gold focus state that will double the damage, and unlike Roar that knocks the opponent back, Roar Blast knocks them up into the air. This has huge combo potential, as you can probably imagine, but it has quite a long cooldown, so you do have to use it wisely. Even if you don't want to go for longer combos though, a charged Roar Blast will also earn you a free focus attack, so definitely keep that in mind if you're looking for some burst damage. His first ultimate is Feral Frenzy, and there is a whole lot you can do with it. For one, it can be used while under attack, which is great to make up for his skills not being able to, and once it's active, you can tap ult again to gain access to 3 Tiger Strike attacks. You can use all 3 of these in a row, or delay them to try catching your opponent in their dodge recovery. From ult activation, there's a full 35 seconds of uptime, so you do have quite a while to make use of everything. All of the passives while in ult are shared by the 2 versions, so I'll go over those and then go back to the active of the second one. First of all, Akos gets access to an enhanced version of Scale Rush, making it so charging grants you purple focus instead of blue, so it can't be parried, only dodged or clanked. My favorite thing about it though is that you can Scale Rush in any direction off of anything. That means things like trees and pillars that you typically have to charge on to avoid rushing upwards. You can just Scale Rush normally as if it was a wall. Then there's Tiger Leap, which is something you can make use of basically non-stop throughout your ult duration, and all you have to do to activate it is jump while sprinting. At any time during your leap, you can use a modified jump attack, which goes for both horizontal and vertical attacks. But it's once you hit the ground after leaping that unlocks the true potential of it. If you attack moments after landing, you'll activate a Pounce attack that has great range and lets you go right into a light attack combo. Pouncing after your first leap will grant you purple focus, and after the second leap and beyond, your pounce gets gold focus. The damage of pounce is increased after each consecutive leap up to 3 times. Both pounce and the jump attack damage are affected by your weapon rarity, but the jump attack damage doesn't increase with each leap like pounce does. Leaping is a great way to mind game your opponent as long as you're staying at the right distance, since they will have to predict when you're going to pounce and think about how to deal with each type of focus attack. Both are just great opportunities to bait and punish. Okay, we talked about the triple Tiger Strike ability that his first ultimate has, but finally going back to how the second ult actually differs. When you tap ult again after the initial activation, instead of entering that state where you can use your 3 strikes, you have access to 2 lunge attacks that can be used whenever. As a mostly solos player, I prefer this one over the first ultimate, since it feels a bit more versatile as a combo finisher, and just a much more unpredictable attack in general. It doesn't do a ton of damage, which is probably a good thing, and normally the amount of knockback is too far to guarantee a follow-up attack off of it, but if you lunge into a wall, then you do end up close enough to keep on the pressure. If you're out in the open though, then going for a ranged shot follow-up can be a good idea. The meta hasn't totally settled yet, so we can't say exactly where he stands when it comes to counterplay and what he potentially struggles against. But what immediately stuck out to me is his potential to deal with zipping, since he has such easy access to gold and purple focus with his Scale Rush and Pounce. Zipping players tend to use the skill that negates stun from light attacks and then hunt for a parry, but as we know with purple and gold focus, that doesn't work out too well. It doesn't seem like he'll be particularly strong against true transformers like Tianhai and Feria, since most of his abilities while in ult won't be very effective at all against them. Also, because he doesn't have a combo breaking skill, he will be pretty susceptible to the Tarka infinite, so if you find yourself up against a Tarka, I would really try to hold on to that ult as long as possible to either ensure the kill or break out of that infinite. I found Takeda to be a relatively even matchup because your Lunge can beat his demonic strike, but with Takeda's potential to pull off infinites as well, I would probably give the same advice for playing against a Tarka. Akos is definitely a character with a lot of nuance, he's got a fun and aggressive skill set, and in my opinion he's a fantastic addition to the roster. I'm sure we'll be learning a lot more about his full potential over the coming weeks, so be sure to stay tuned for more Akos content from the rest of the community on Twitch and YouTube. That's about it from me though. I hope everyone enjoys the new update, and hopefully I'll see you in a game.